Hello everybody, this is Peter B, and welcome to another episode of Tobacco Card Tuesday. First, and these are all brand new pickups within the last couple of weeks, so I was very excited to get this one. T206 from the 1911 series. That is the 350, the 460. Has a Piedmont back. Nice colors. And the player depicted is Henry Smith. Now, Henry Smith was an outfielder for just 1 year in the bigs with Brooklyn. He played 35 games for them and batted .237. But as far as T206 cards, he came at the right place, right time. He was on the active Brooklyn roster in 1910, and that's where they took the photo, and then later from the photo made the T206 card. And that was his only year, but he did make it into the set. So why would I be happy to pick up a common T206 card of a player that only played 35 games? Well, as far as I can tell, I checked many of them, and I believe this is the only card that has a nickname. You see, his nickname was Happy. They called him Happy Smith. I mean, on Cy Young's card, it just says Young. On Home Run Baker's card, it just says Baker. Now, Smith could have been lucky because there were 6 other Smiths in the set. But there were a bunch of Joneses. They either have an initial or just say Jones. The 2 Hall of Famer Collins, Eddie and Jimmy, they just say Collins. It seems to be the pattern. For instance, for Smith, there was Frank Smith. He actually has 3 cards. One image of him, it just says Chicago Americans. And then later, after he was traded to Boston, it says Boston and Chicago Americans. Same image, but it's an additional card because it says Chicago and Boston. And there's Heine Smith. His card just says Smith. And there's Carlos Smith. His card just says Smith. Oh yeah, and there is another Frank Smith card besides the one I explained. On that card, it's a different pose altogether, and it says F. Smith. Doesn't say Frank, doesn't have his nickname, just F. Smith for Frank Smith. There is a Sid Smith, S-I-D, on the card. But that was his name, Sid. But Henry here, and like I said, as far as I can tell, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, he is the only player to have his nickname on the T206 card. So this is Happy Smith, the 35-game outfielder who played for the 1910 Brooklyn Suburbias, which later became the Dodgers. So that's the first card. Second card I want to show is Eddie Grant. This is a 1909-11 American Caramel E90-1. And this is the front. Beautiful colors on this card. I was happy to get it. And as the American caramel back. Now, Eddie, if you don't know the story on Eddie Smith, it's worth reading about. Go to Wikipedia or the Sabre website and call up Eddie Smith. He played 10 years in the Bigs, 1905 to 1915, mostly as a third baseman. He was born 1883 in Franklin, Massachusetts, and he attended Dean Academy, which is now Dean College in Franklin. And I actually took some night classes there at Dean College in Franklin, Massachusetts. Then after graduating from Dean, he went to Harvard and got his law degree. While he was getting his law degree, he did sign a professional baseball contract. And like I said, he ended up playing 10 years. He has a lifetime average of 249, and he was a good fielder. He retired after the 1915 season, and he opened a law practice in Boston, Massachusetts. In 1970, at the outbreak of World War I and America joined the war, he volunteered. He became a captain in the 77th Division and was sent overseas. Now, I'm probably not going to pronounce this right. During the Moose Aragon offense, all his superiors were killed or wounded, so he took command and led his troops on a 4-day search for the lost battalion. There was heavy fighting in the Aragon forest. I believe it's a dense forest, and both sides lost many men. On October 5th, 1918, a shell exploded next to him, and Eddie Grant lost his life. He was the first American ball player who was American ball player to lose his life in World War I. So Eddie was a smart guy, went to Harvard. He was very good at sports. He did play sports at Harvard. And he signed a professional baseball contract for 10 years. Decent player. And after he retired, he started a law practice in Boston. His patriotism sent him overseas, and he gave his life for his country. There is actually a book written by Karen. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Written by Karen Marco. It's about Eddie Grant, baseball, and the Great World War. You can sit down and read it in one day. I don't mean a full 8-hour day. I mean just a few hours you can read it. It does talk about Eddie and also talk about World War I in general. I mean, there's some soldiers. They borrowed YMCA equipment to play overseas. That was the camp where Eddie learned to become a soldier. And there is Eddie right there. But the thing I wanted to show you is, after he lost his life, they built this monument in the Polo Grounds. All the other monuments and plaques were not on the playing field, but this one was on the playing field. And in this famous picture, which I'm sure everybody recognizes, Willie Mays' great catch, well, there is the monument in this photo. So that's how it was, in deep center field, right in the playing field. Now, on the last day of the Polo Grounds, the last official game for the Giants, and then they're going to move to San Francisco, All the fans jumped the field and were taking souvenirs, and someone ripped the brass monument off that stone, and it was never found. They don't know what happened to it. Someone could have just thrown it in the river, or it could be in someone's collection, hidden away. In the book, it says they did build another monument, and it's on the side of the building at today's San Francisco Giants Stadium. I forget what they call it these days, but supposedly it's still there. So, I mean, it's a decent book. You could probably get more information doing Wikipedia or Sabre, but you definitely should look up Eddie Grant. He was a ball player who gave his life for his country. Okay, the next card I want to show you. This is a 1906 Fan Craze of Fred Tenny of the Boston Beaneaters, which eventually became the Braves. He had a 17-year career. From 1894 to 1911. He was a very good field and first baseman and developed the style of play where the first baseman would play back and behind the bag, so he would cover more ground to catch ground balls. He is also said to develop the 3-6-3 double play. He also was a very good hitter, helping the Boston Beaneaters to win divisions in the late 1890s. So this is a Fan Craze card. And the back actually was a game. That's what the back looked like. From 1906, Fred Tenny. Now a couple of non-sports. I got a 1909 T59 Sub Rosa Flags of All Nations. And that's the back. Now these are the International Naval Codes. Each letter of the alphabet is depicted by a flag. And these are flags M through P. And because it's a P, and I'm Peter B, that's why I got this one. So 1909 T59. And then the last one's pretty cool. This is an 1889 Kinney Magic Changing Card N233. And here's a guy. Think no one's around. So he's going to steal some apples out of that apple basket. And what you do, you hold them up to the light. Let me grab my flashlight. Hopefully I won't blind you. But you hold the card up to the light, and it reveals something behind it. And you can see there's a dog biting him on the butt. So it's mostly blank back, but it does say, let me get rid of my flashlight. "50 Magic Changing Cards." And it's from the Kinney brothers. So I thought that was pretty cool. No baseball one, unfortunately. Most of them are non-sports. But pretty cool. The dog biting him in the butt, keeping him from stealing its owner's apples. So that's it. I hope everyone out there has a terrific tobacco card Tuesday. Goodbye.